Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wife and Christ Show, a show where we inspire the masses to become financially free without compromising their faith. I'm your host, Dami, and today we'll be having a conversation on 5 things you can do now to increase your income. We're already halfway through the year, and for many of us, we're still far behind from our financial goal. And a reason why you may be behind your financial goal, you're not making enough money, whether it's in your business or whether it's in your job, whether it's in your side hustle, whatever you're doing, you're just not making enough money. And it comes to a point where you have to understand that, you can only do so much budgeting. There's only so much cutbacks you can do in order to achieve your goal. But it really turns down to you making more money and knowing how to manage the money better. And like I said, we're halfway through the year, and this is the summertime. And I understand that during the summertime, paying attention to your finance, looking over your finance, looking for ways to make more money at a time is not the first thing that comes to mind when you think of summer, especially here in the United States. They usually think about on vacation. They usually think about trying new restaurants, going around the city, catching up with friends who they couldn't catch up with during the winter time. And that's all great and then, but it's also important to be mindful where we are financially. And one thing you can do right now to increase your income is edit your resume. As simple as it sounds, many people miss out many opportunities, financial opportunities in terms of jobs, just because of how their resume looks like, how their resume reads to the employer. Based off your resume, your employer should be able to have a good understanding of who you are, what have you worked on, what have you accomplished, how have you added value to the previous companies that you have worked with, and why you will be a good fit into the company. Like from your resume, people should have an idea. Okay, maybe this is why this person is applying for this position. This is why I can see this person being a great fit in this position. And just to continue in that conversation, when was the last time you looked at your resume? Have you gotten somebody to proofread your resume for you? You can ask a friend to proofread your resume for you. You can ask someone you trust to proofread your resume. Delete stuff that that's no longer useful. For you. That no longer will make you an attractive candidate. Add things to your resume that you have done, and you have evidence. Evidence of you doing, or evidence that you have done it. Add those things like a certification you may take in, classes you may take in, ways you may have added value to your company. You can add that to your resume. That way when a new employer that you're trying to work for, see it, they can see the value added and they can consider whether or not you'd be a good fit or not. But if you haven't updated your resume, this is now the best time. Take a Saturday, take a weekend, or a whole week where you go through your resume and you just sit down and see if there's anything you may be missing, some things that you need to change, and maybe some wordings you need to be changed. I know the format of resumes constantly change depending on the career path you're choosing. So reach out to people, in your career path and ask them to proofread your resume. Ask them to give you feedback on what they would change or what you should add to your resume. Because your resume is literally your first impression that your employer gets of you. And it's literally hit or miss. But your resume is garbage. That could be the opportunity that you miss of you getting a job. If your resume is not readable, is not clear to get a good idea, a good picture of who you are, you can miss a lot of opportunity. But if your resume is clear, your resume, present a clear picture of who you are, you can get the job that you're looking for. Editing your resume can make you a better candidate and also allow you to make more money. So the second thing you can do now to increase your income is take a class. Take a class or two that can make you a tractable candidate, can give you more information on the knowledge of the kind of job you're applying for. Because the more knowledge or the more value you're able to provide the company, the more a company will be willing to pay you. Or it could just you taking a certification. I know if you're in the tech world, there's a lot of certification that you need to get into. If you're an accountant, there's a lot of certification that you can get, that you can take in order to increase your income. So look for any class or certification that you can take that can help you that can help increase your income, whether at your current job or when you've applied to another job. Look for trainings that you can take that can help increase your income. There's some trainings that you may take and your job can pay you for those trainings. Take those trainings, you know, and that way it's a win-win because you're learning, and at the same time while you're learning, you're also getting paid. And add these classes or these certifications to your resume, so that way, when you do apply to new jobs or you're applying for a different job in your company, people know that you're continuing to add value to yourself. The mistake a lot of people make is that they stop adding value to themselves when they get to whatever job they want to get. And they get upset why they're not getting promotion. But if you want promotion or you want to get a better paying job, the best way you can do is taking a class, getting a certification, because it shows your employer that you're working on yourself. It shows your employer that you want to bring more value to the company. And the more value you bring a company, the more rewarding a company will want to be towards. So those are just two things you can do if you find yourself in the 9 to 5 path journey. That's two ways you can increase your income. But if you're a business owner, one thing that you can do is improve your product or service. And one of the best ways you can improve your product and service is by offering a survey to your customers, your clients, and offering a survey, asking them what things that they would want from you, what certain things that they would want better, or which you offer in order to enhance their experience with you, to make their money worth spending with you. Because honestly, no business will be a business if they didn't have customers. No business will become profitable if the customers are not spending money. I was looking at a post the other day is saying that a customer can fire the CEO, the janitor, and the manager if they decide to go and spend their money somewhere else. So it's important to make sure you're serving the need of your customer. It's important to make sure that your product is you're targeting the right audience. Targeting the right audience. Which leads to marketing. The reason a lot of us are not making money as entrepreneurs or business owners is because we're not marketing our product in the right way. We're not targeting the right audience. So it's important for us to take a step back, go back to the drawing board, and think about who are you trying to target, and is this really with this product or the service you offer, is this something that they need currently? Is this something that they will find value to pay you X amount of dollars you're asking for? And doing a survey of such, like I mentioned earlier, will give you an idea. Do a survey. It can be a survey on Instagram poll. It can be a survey you have a lot of people on your email list. You can send it out, and hopefully you get a good amount. So that way you know how to improve your product or service, and just knowing how to market. Some of us are not posting, that we're not creating enough content around our product or service. That's why a lot of people don't know about our business. Maybe you need to create more content around what you're doing. Maybe you need to look for influencers. You need to reach out to influencers so they can market your product. Maybe you need to run some ads. But whatever you need to do, you need to figure out, because marketing is very important. Just as making sure that your product and service is something your clients, your audience need, it's also important to know how to market it. It's also important to know how to get in front of those audience. Because when you're able to get in front of the audience, the right audience, your target audience, you're able to make money. So if you're not in front of your right audience, you will lose money, and you will not be in business for long. And to go on with that is being able to network people. The more people you're able to network, the more relationships you're able to build, it increases the possibility of you making money. And this goes for business, and it goes for a 9 to 5. You being able to network, you being able to know different people in your industry allows for you to make more money. And it increases the possibility of you making more money, especially if you're a person that's constantly adding value to every room that you walk in. So that's why I would say increase your network. Go to the networking event. Go to conferences. Introduce yourself everywhere you go, so people know who you are. It goes back to marketing. Let people know who you are. Let people know what you're looking for. Be open. Don't be ashamed that you need help. You may need help, and a closed mouth is a closed destiny. And if you want to get to the next level, you have to network with certain people, and you don't have to network with the CEO or the number one person in your industry. You can just network with somebody who's making a little bit more money than you in regards to business, who's making actually $2,000 or $3,000 more than you in business. Find a way. Maybe they have a course, maybe they have a training. Join their program, join their courses. If you're a 9 to 5, maybe it's a manager that you need to just find time to sit down with and just understand what they're looking for to promote you. Or just send emails, when you're reaching out to recruiters, trying to figure out what are they looking for the job that they're offering that you may want to apply to. What makes a great candidate, you know, for the job you're looking for. And that way, when you start networking with recruiters, you start networking with people that are making a little bit more money than you in the business that you currently have. That way, you're able to make changes to your resume. You're able to get certifications. You may realize that you need to get some certification. You may realize you need to take some certain classes. You may realize that this is why your product is not selling, and you may need to edit your product, or you need to market it different. You may realize so many things, but it's all about you opening your mouth. It's all about you connecting with people. And not only connecting with people just because you want to grow, but connecting with people in a way that you can also add value to them. Let them value them. If they tell you certain things to do, be upfront. Be upfront so people can know whether or not they could help you or did not want to help you. Whether they want the kind of relationship or whether they did not want the kind of relationship. Don't be a snake and try to make it seem one way kind of relationship when it's not. Be upfront with what you want this kind of your relationship with these people to be, so they know how to help you. Because that's what I say. Network with people who are making more money than you in your career or in your business. And last but not least is trust God's process. You know, it's interesting here in the United States. I believe oftentimes people think of retiring when they're in their 60s. 60 to 65. But at the same time, a lot of successful people, whether in business or they work a 9 to 5, a lot of people some people started their journeys, to becoming successful at way in their way advanced years. I believe KFC, he started, the owner or founder of KFC, started the KFC business way in his advanced years. So it's just to say that don't compare your race, your journey, your life to anyone else, because we're all starting from different points. We're all starting from different valleys, different peaks. We're all going at different pace. So it's important to not get caught up in what person A is doing, what person C is doing, what John Doe is doing. It's important to run your race, and just be patient. Like, truly trust God's process for your life. Which requires you to understand, to go pray and fast, understand God's will for your life, because there's maybe certain things you need to do personally, spiritually, in order for you to increase your income. There may be certain things you need to do, in regards to your character, align yourself to God in order to make more income. There may be certain things you need to do, to increase your income. So that's what I would say. Trust God, trust God's process for your life. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't be ungrateful for the journey that God has brought you on and how far He has brought you on. It's always good to look back. It's always good to see where you are 5 years ago, 10 years ago, to see what you have learned, what you have grown. It's important to be grateful and not compare, because you don't know why person A is making that kind of money. You don't know what he or she is doing. You don't know whether he or she is doing illegally. And it may be something that you're not doing that's making value not provided, that the other person you're comparing yourself to is provided. That's why it's important to just trust God's process for your life. When God wants to elevate you, He will elevate you. When it's God appointed time to elevate you, you will be elevated, as long as you align with His will. So it's important, to remember to align yourself with God's will. And I want to end up with the scripture, which is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And Jeremiah 29, verse 11, it states, "For I know the plan I have for you, declare the Lord, plan to prosper you and not to harm you, plan to give you hope in the future." So I want you guys to meditate with this verse as we continue to go through the year, and as we continue to talk about finance and ways we can increase our finance, ways we can get better with our finance. Just understand that God has a plan to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. But it's very important to be mindful, of what God wills for your life. Like I've said many times, not everyone is going to be the billionaire. Not everyone may be the millionaire, but it's possible to become financial free in one way or another. And what may be financial, how you may look financial free, may not be what John Doe looks like being financial free. Because God is the author of all of our life, and He wrote each of our stories differently. We all have a different purpose to fulfill on this earth. and it's important that we align ourselves with what God is calling us, and not get so caught up in how much money we can make in this world, or how much money we think we should make and to enjoy life, but be grateful for the little things that we have. Be grateful, not little things, but be grateful for the things that God has provided us with, the finance, the resources that God has provided, and do it our talent and our skill properly. As always, I hope this bless you guys. I hope this encourage you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Stay blessed, guys.